Okay, we're here to broadcast the wrestling match tonight. The first one is going to be Henderson County versus Whitesville Trinity. I have Gary Irvin here to help me. Gary, welcome tonight.
Yeah, good to be here. Good night for wrestling. We got three teams here. Missing one, kind of in this day and time. Just inside of precaution, one of the teams was unable to show, so it may be a little bit shorter night than we thought. But we've got two good full teams, and this second bout is going to be a good one.
This first one, as we said, is Whitesville Trinity versus Henderson County. Whitesville Trinity obviously is just starting their program, hadn't been going too long. They've got two wrestlers. They have at 145 Mason Mattingly, and at 152 is Christopher Howard. Gary, were you at Union County when they first started wrestling?
You know, it started in 1972. I was there in 72. There was 1 year before me that it started, actually, but I was there the first year that Mike Thomas, a Henderson native, moved to the county as Mojo Holloway's assistant football coach. And as a grad assistant, he fell in love with wrestling. And he became a wrestling coach, recruited all the good football player athletes, and that was our first year.
Well, it's it's something to get started there, and you got to start someplace. And being able to get it started, Henderson had wrestling before, and then it stopped, and now they're getting back. I believe this may be the third year back, so they're going to eventually be right up there competing with everybody as they do on at all levels, and it's going to be very, very exciting. Gary, we were just talking about Henderson, of course, had wrestling and then stopped, and it's back going, but it takes a while to build up the interest and get kids involved.
Yeah, and back in the 70s, in early 80s even, Henderson County's program was Coach Holliday, Doc Holliday, and Loader were teammates in football from Henderson County, but they wanted us to beat each other so bad. They were both competitive. They hated to lose, and it was a great rivalry. It was a great competition between the two. Like any sport, competition like that makes you better, and that rivalry we had in the early days helped build our program as it did Henderson's, and a lot of it is keeping coaches, keeping your students motivated, keeping good athletes and good kids out for the program. So both back then they did a very good job, and these programs come and go. We've got a good number of kids out here now. Coach Pointer seems to really care about the kids. I see the chemistry between them. It's a good program. The Trinity program is a startup program, as is Owensboro Catholic, and we like to see that our region, this part of Western Kentucky, is growing, and we've got several national. Our region is one of the toughest in the state now, and we get several nationally ranked wrestlers in our region. So it's really stepped up a lot. So. The more competition at every level, the better it makes us all.
I'd like to thank our sponsors for WSON, Air Hydro Power, Hetty's Pizza, Henderson Ford, Owensboro Health, and Henderson Healthplex, and Tri-State Construction and Concrete. Without that, they wouldn't be able to bring this stream, which we hope you are enjoying. Even the officials out there are getting loose and stretching.
It doesn't look like that hard of a job, but a wrestling official And I didn't realize until I started officiating these, but you're up and down all the time. You're jumping around. It's about like you've wrestled 4 matches by the time you officiate.
Well, yeah, and you've got to be willing to be moving around and down on the floor in a moment's notice, yes.
Your whistle kicked out of your mouth and you kicked in the face if you're trying to watch their shoulders and not seeing their feet come at you.
Like I said, Whitesville Trinity has two. Owensboro Catholic was supposed to be here, but they're under quarantine, which, if you look on the KHS AA website during basketball, boys and girls, you'll see every night, 15 to 20 games that have been postponed because of COVID protocol. So it's something we're living with. Hopefully we can get through this and get course more close to normalcy next year, but we're going to try to wrestle through there. Now, at 145, I think Coach Pointer was talking to you. Did he say who was going against him?
Yeah, he said first it would be Trinity against Henderson.
Yes.
Trinity against
but he did. Yeah, but he didn't tell you specifically who was wrestling.
No, he did not.
Okay. That's we'll get them when they announce them. We've got the roster. I didn't know if he was doing something different.
I'm just assuming it's the Jackson Wallace and Colton Tompkins.
Well, we got a couple of different kids there at 145, so I didn't know. He said he might move it around a little bit. We'll just listen for the announcement when it's come, as the referees there getting Whitesville Trinity is getting their elbow taped. I don't know if it's rash or blood or a cut or something, but
they must have got flagged on the weigh-ins. They not only they have protocol to make sure they're healthy, they check the skin to make sure there's nothing there, and if there is anything, they make sure it's taped and covered. So this is a team format, so they only have 2. But what they're doing now is they're pulling all the Henderson County that received a forfeit, and they are coming out to get their hands raised and to score the team points on a forfeit, and then they'll have the 2 matches.
And in a team format, a forfeit counts the same as a pin.
Yeah, these are 6, so they've just scored 18 points.
And then we'll go through this until we get to these weights. Sometimes in that you may have exhibitions where they just wrestle, but this one, since it was a team format. $138. And then we'll be going at 145, which Trinity has Mason Mattingly.
Okay, now we got a match.
Now, Jackson Wallace. So he's going to get a little warm up here for his other one, and we're ready to start.
Started in the first round, the center of the mat. Both wrestlers are collar ties. The Trinity, or Whitesville Trinity, shoots in on a single leg, gets his head down. Henderson sprawls. Well, he pulls the leg in, switches over to a single. He's got a head outside single. And he's got a takedown to his back, and he's getting near fall points. So he's going to get a 2-point takedown, and he had a count to 5, so he's going to get a 5-second or 5-point near fall, and he's tightened up. He's got that far arm. He's got his chin in his near side. He's not putting any pressure on that near. There he goes. He got off his knees there, and he's got all of his pressure now and all of his weight on that near shoulder.
One out of time.
Yep.
So he does get 3 near fall points, so he'll go up 5-0 here. We'll see who gets choice. The referee goes over to check with the timekeeper. It's 5-0.
So in this format, the choice in the second period, they'll flip and it's either even or odd, which they got one even, one odd, so it really wouldn't matter this much here. But sometimes it's strategic and it makes a difference.
Green chose down Whitesville Trinity because Henderson, Jackson Wallace deferred.
Getting ready to start the second period. And they're off.
Trying to get up.
Oh, Henderson is trying to reach across for a far side cradle. He's got a cross face. He's trying to reach across, get it hooked. He's got it hooked. He's got the cradle locked up, and now he's getting near fall points. He's got the cradle tight. He's at least got 2. His cradle's getting loose. He better be careful here. He's in trouble. Henderson is still in control, but you can be pinned on this. Gives up a reversal. I think they gave him 2.
So it's 7-4 now. Jackson Wallace is on his back. Mason Mattingly from Whitesville Trinity has got it and got about a minute 12 pin. So Jackson Wallace had getting near fall points, and as you said, got in a bad situation, got it reversed.
He ran him over with a cradle, got a 2 count, got near fall points, and then gave up the cradle and a little bit too late and got trapped on his back.
Now we got 152. Colton Tompkins for Henderson County.
So Whitesville comes out charging Henderson. Russell, he's kind of backed out. Now they circled back to the center. Oh, Henderson, a real good penetration on his head outside single. Didn't get anything. Good sprawl from Whitesville. Back to the center, hand fighting. In the collar tie. Henderson trying to drop under that near elbow. Whitesville shot and blocked by Henderson. He's got a front headlock, tries to block spin. And out of bounds.
21 seconds left to go in the first period. Head back to the center.
And another start. We got 15 seconds left in this first period.
Ooh. Got a.
He must not have had the elbow. So that was a headlock. It was a good throw. And what he did is you got to have an arm in that headlock or it's a 1-point penalty. It's an illegal move. And that's what Whitesville got called for. He threw a really good headlock, but he threw it just with the head in the lock and not including his arm. So Whitesville gave up a penalty point there. Henderson 1-0. Henderson wrestler shoots, catches a leg. Whitesville is really trying to throw. So he's going to go into the second period 1-0.
Colton Tompkins for Henderson County over Christopher Howard for Whitesville Trinity, and it'll be a 2-minute second period. In this format, which you have multiple matches, it's 1 minute first period and then 2 for each second and third period.
And this is a kind of a change. It's a COVID type of. They give a breather after each round, so they're not their respiration's down. And if they were, I guess the theory is that the lesser they breathe, the less if they are contagious, the less it'd be spread. I don't know who came up with that rule. All right, Henderson, they start and they stand up. Trinity's got the wrist lock. Henderson does a good job of fighting hands and getting the 1 point, and he comes right back with a good shot. Another good shot, hit outside single, switches off to double. He's going to get a 2-point takedown. Good double shot. Oh, Henderson just did a quick Peterson he's going to get a 2-point reversal, and he's scoring back points off of this. Pretty good technique on this Whitesville kid.
Colton Thompson is down, and
so what
Howard
he's
is
going to do, he's going
getting
to turn to the
near-fall
head,
points.
Move over to headlock. This is going to be got it pretty loosened up there. Henderson's going to roll through. Colton Thompson. Oh, he's going to get out.
He awards 3 near-fall points to Howard at Whitesville Trinity. He's up 5-4 over Tompkins.
A big 5-point move there. So there, Henderson's got a leg. He's got a kind of a single leg, but you better watch out. He's giving up. He's close to giving up his back a little bit. There's some. He's counting off near fall points. There's 2.
25 seconds left to go in this period.
So he only got to a 4 count. He got there about 4 times, but he never got to 5. So if you get over 2, that's 2-point near fall. You got to get to 5 count before it's a 3-point.
All right, 7-4. Christopher Howard from Trinity over Colton Tompkins for Henderson County. We'll head to the third period. 7-4. Howard's over Colton Tompkins.
So this is kind of a, in this type of, environment they're in. I mean, they practice, sometimes they're in school, sometimes they're not, or their practice schedules are, this third period, their conditioning is really going to tell a tale. Both of them look a little winded. This is, in these times that these wrestlers have got to depend on their own training and what they do, while in quarantine and while off after the practice to keep their conditioning up. So starting the third period, here comes that Peterson again. He's going to look back. Henderson keeps under the arms this time and didn't give up the reversal or the near fall. He did it again, and now he's out of the arm. So he's giving up a reversal. He's giving up near falls. The Whitesville kid turns. He's got doesn't have a real tight half, but he's got the far arm. And he's putting a lot of pressure. He's got a half. He needs to really get the chest up. He's got it. Yeah, he didn't have it tight enough for the kids to be able to roll through. Henderson and Tompkins.
Pin.
There he goes.
So Howard is able to pin Colton Tompkins. Colton did a good job going after it, got up 4, but then gotten a couple of moves there, and that's a situation you can find yourself in wrestling. Yeah. You think you're going along, and next thing you know, you're on your back.
Yep, 2 real good Petersons where he scored a lot of points on them, and Tompkins did a good job. They going and attacking it on the feet, got a takedown, and was real aggressive with it. The Henderson or the Whitesville Trinity kid scored those points on the bottom. So now Henderson's going to get all of their remaining forfeits to come up and finalize the team score, and then you'll see the next. I think they said Trinity and Apollo will go back to back.
Well, they'll go ahead, and that way, I'm sure they'll get Trinity done. They won't have to wait for the whole thing, and they can go.
So the Apollo, I guess, will be up next, and so here's the 103 pounder. So they started.
They started at 116. Yeah.
Okay. So just
113, and that was the 106. So
just to make it, used to it always start at the little guy and end with the big guy. Now what they do to kind of switch things up is they draw for the starting position. So that's what that was, and and the little guy get to go last. That way, if it was a close match, he would have been the hero at the end instead of the big guy.
Well, that happens sometimes, as you well know, in these tournaments. It can come down to one match.
It happened last weekend, Union County and Ryle, the top two teams in the state, and it came down to the very last match and quadruple overtime in the very last match. So it was exciting, great competition between those two teams 2 weeks ago.
We again like to thank the WSON stream sponsors: Air Hydropower, Hetty's Pizza, Henderson Ford, Owensboro Health, Henderson Healthplex, and Tri-State Construction and Concrete. And like we got another one. I don't know what. It looks like we're getting ready for.
Oh, here comes the coach.
All right, Coach will let us know what's going on.
I'm going to give him my headset if you'd like to talk to him. His son is a 160-pounder.
Okay.
The only question I was going to ask him is, what's it like working with his son as a coach?
Okay. Coach, give us some insight on where we're starting.
Well, right now we're doing an exhibition match. We got Apollo had 3 extra kids, so we're just trying to give them kids a chance to get some matches in. So since Apollo's going to wrestle Whitesville Trinity next, we decided to go ahead and do the Henderson Apollo exhibition now. There's a little bit of a break before we actually have to wrestle.
While you're up here, I know we tried to talk to you last week, and you had to get with your kids. How's the season going for? Just talk a little bit about the season.
The season's actually going pretty good. Give and take, everything going on with the COVID-19 and everything. We got to start practicing on February 4th with our first competition on the 11th. So we had 1 week of practice, and I wrestled three matches that next week. So all in all, we've done pretty good.
I noticed you got a couple. You got 5 seniors.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure they meant a whole lot to your program.
Oh man, every last one of them boys is special. I mean, I can go on about each one of them. They helped start this program when I brought it back, so they've been here from the get-go. So to see these boys come up and become seniors and put in the effort, and all of them have a chance this year to go to state. Connor Lander last year he's a junior this year, but he'll go to state. He'll probably go to state again. He got an excellent shot. But Rance Hawkins is in a good position this year to go to state.
Okay, thank you, Coach. We know you got. Has you seen Apollo, or what are your thoughts about the match coming up?
This is actually our first time wrestling Apollo this season, so I'm not quite sure what they got, but I think we will size up fairly well with them. We also wrestle them again this Saturday at Apollo, so we'll get a feel for them tonight and see how we do. Hopefully we'll do well, and if not, we'll adjust, make some adjustments, and rework it Saturday.
Yeah, and that's one thing about it in wrestling. You'll get plenty of opportunities if it doesn't go like you need to.
That's exactly right. A lot of these teams, especially in West Kentucky area, we face these teams multiple times throughout the season. So, and then we'll see them again come regionals and state time.
Yeah. Okay, Coach. Thanks a lot for it. Okay.
I was wanting the coach to talk about his wrestling pedigree. You've got a background in. You were a high school wrestler in understanding, was it Moore?
Yes, sir. I wrestled at Moore High School in Louisville, Kentucky. I love wrestling. It was one of my all-time favorite sports. I mean, I liked it more than football. So it's the one sport where, I mean, everything's on you. I mean, you win and lose as an individual. So it's not like other team sports where you could do your job perfectly and the other team's not, and then you still lose. But so I love wrestling. This is what I love to do. When I came here to Henderson, especially with Union County right up the road, I was amazed that we didn't have a wrestling program. So I fought over the years to get our program back, and we're here. So first year we took 2 wrestlers to state. Last year we took 3 wrestlers to state. So I mean, things are getting better for us every day.
Yeah. So how is it? I know firsthand wrestling, having a son as one of your wrestlers. How has that experience been for you, wrestling with your son as you're his coach instead of his dad? And how are you dealing with drawing the line between the two?
Well, it's the blessed and the curse at times. No, JJ's a good kid. I mean, he does good. He wrestles hard. But I got one of them things. I tried to take a step back and let my assistant coach, Scotty Hogan, when he tries to take a little more lead with JJ. Because sometimes you know how it is when it's dad telling you. Sometimes kids don't always respond, but it's going great. I love having to have this experience and share something that I love with him that he's grown to love. So it's good.
I agree. It's probably the best father-son moment I think I'll ever have, and every time he gets beat, it's worse than every match we ever got beat at, and every time he wins, it's better than any match we ever won.
Without a doubt.
Well, thanks, Coach, for your time. Appreciate talking to you, and glad to see all the kids and you bringing stuff back to the program and the sport back to Henderson.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, gentlemen.
That was Coach Pointer, and in the meantime, we've got exhibition on the match, and it's a pinning situation, and it's a girl he's wrestling from Apollo. I believe that's maybe Rachel Campbell. She's listed there. I don't know if he's trying to get a pin.
So he said these were exhibition matches, so they're either a junior varsity member or even a varsity guy or girl can wrestle. Yeah, that's one of the unique things about wrestling, and they've accepted women wrestlers. Like I said, we had a state champion last year, Savannah Bacon, and I saw Apollo had a couple. Women wrestlers. I understood from last week they don't like to be called girls wrestlers. So they're women, female wrestlers, and Kentucky now has got multiple college and universities that offer a lot of opportunities for past high school wrestling. So it's good to see it. It's good to see girls enjoying the sport just like the men did.
Working on a pin there. And that's going to be the end of the second period. And he should get some near fall points. Going to get 3 near fall points to make it 8-0. We'll get ready to go to the third period. We were talking with Coach, and I'm sorry we missed the name of the wrestler here.
So if it could be the JV 132-pounder. He looks like about a 132-pounder. So as an 8th grader, Vincent Embry.
Maybe.
They got 2 145-pounders also, so they've got 2 freshmen.
Well, the female is Rachel Campbell is a 138.
Okay, so it may be the Vincent Embry.
And he got a reversal. Makes it 10-0. And that's more than 8 points. And Gary, you might talk about.
Yeah, that's so there's 3 in dual meet schedules. You got a decision, which is under 8 points. You got a major decision, which is between 8 and 15 points, which is what we've got here. That's a pin.
That's a pin. Good job there. He stayed after it.
Yep.
And then you got a tech fall, right?
Tech fall and a fall. So and a fall is the same as a forfeit.
Yeah.
So the point score, the decision is 3. Major decision is 4 points, team points. A tech fall is 5. A pin and a forfeit are 6.
So we'll have another exhibition match here. We'll be sure and catch these names. I'm sorry, I didn't hear it either. Couldn't make it out. Tyler Landers Henderson, yeah.
Okay. So this is their varsity heavyweight, and I guess he's gonna wrestle their alternate and then their varsity. So he'll get 2 matches on this one. What's
the most matches you wrestled in a day in a tournament, Gary?
You know, the high school tournaments now have got a six match and 1 day tournament.
Okay.
And that's a limit by the KHSA. But back in the days when I wrestled, there was no, and in freestyle there's no limit. So you don't want to overdo it, and the precaution, for kids, you get beat up, and the sore you get, the stiffer you get, the longer it gets on. I think the 6-match rule is good.
Yeah, and it's like in used to not be a pitch limit in high school baseball, and now there's that. So they're trying to take care of your heads. We go into the second period, and it's 0-0. Connor Lander for Henderson County. I just didn't have anybody get any points in any situations where they could score points.
Yeah, another change too is heavyweight used to be unlimited.
Oh yeah,
and it was a heavyweight, and there was no weight class, and that kind of came around to the end in the Olympic teams of the probably the late 70s and the 80s, where they had 400-pound. The bigger the better, but they were so big they couldn't be moved, and they put a weight limit. 285 is the weight limit. Did a good job. Stepped out to the side, arm bar and a half, and that's textbook.
Connor Lander's got a pin.
Did a good job. He broke him down with that far arm bar, stepped over in a half, and quickly, 12 seconds going into the second period.
That's the way you'd like to see it.
Yeah.
So now, I guess that's the end of the exhibition.
So now I think that the two Whitesville kids are going to wrestle.
Yeah, that's what he said. The Whitesville Trinity kids will now have a little bit of a break during that time, and they can go. They're going to clean the mat. That's another thing, COVID related.
Yeah. Making they've sanitized in between rounds, and it's unbelievable. He said that he had literally 3 days or 4 days of practice, and the following week he wrestled 3 times. That's one of those. It depends on that. A lot of conditioning is involved in that.
Looks like Paulo's getting out there, going to wrestle. Now it's going to be Apollo and Whitesville Trinity. The two matches will be going at 145 and 152.
This is the coin toss to determine who's home and away, and then who has choice.
Yeah.
And Apollo wins it, and they choose odd.
Yeah. Now we'll get ready to start here in a minute, but we'll have to go through, depending on what weight class they start with.
So this is the first meeting between Henderson and Apollo, and it looks like they have two pretty full teams. Henderson County is going to forfeit 2 weight classes, and not sure if Apollo's got a full, but they have a lot of kids over there.
Apollo's, yes, it has a full complement there.
So Henderson will start out probably 12 points behind just with those 2 forfeits. So out of the remaining 12 wrestlers, they've got to really pick it up to make up that starting deficit.
Now we'll see what weight. All right, that's one. I think he thought he said maybe 113.
Well, they're supposed to advance each one, so if that's the case, that should have been 121. This should be 126. That doesn't look like a senior. This looks like a senior, so you may be right. This is the hair of the senior.
So they're getting there and getting closer to the weight class.
So it's funny. The kids are raising their own hands. I guess that's
Well,
It's
that's
like no
it.
handshakes.
Yeah, you can't do handshakes.
So the
you
referee can't touch their hands
Yeah.
or raise their hands. So.
But they're out there on the mat rolling around, but they can't shake hands after the match. All right, this is should be 145. Mason Mattingly. And for Apollo, Mason Shepherd Apollo. So they'll be after it.
Whitesville kid got a front headlock hooked up, trying to spin around, get around the corner. He steps over that leg, and that'd be a 2-point takedown. Oh, and the Apollo kid kind of sits through. He's got over the leg, and that's 2. Did a good job countering that from the front headlock. 20 seconds left.
Again, this is a 1-minute first period.
He switches side, breaks him down. Oh, he's got to keep those hips up. The Trinity kid steps across, and he steps into a reverse half and gets a 1 count. So he's going to get a reversal, but no near fall.
Yeah, he ran out of time. It's 2-2 now at the end of this first period. Mason Mattingly Apollo and Mason Shepherd Mason Mattingly of Whitesville Trinity and Mason Shepherd of Apollo. Going over 2-2 here, heading to the second period. Green's choice. Green's deferred there. Whitesville Trinity Mattingly chose down.
Here goes the start of the second period. Starts 2-2. So the Whitesville kid's trying that outside roller, Peterson. Needs to make sure he stays under that arm. The Apollo wrestler breaks him down. Gets a chicken wing, it looks like. He's got a wrist wing. Got a good pinning combination. He's on the wrong side. He needs to step out. There he goes. He steps on the other side. Now you can go either way with this. He can stack it like he's doing there.
Oh, he's almost had it.
Yeah, got a 1 count. Or he can run that chicken wing like he's doing there. So he'll go one way or the other. And a lot of times, got a little high there and he got reversed. Right into the same Peterson. Giving away some back points there too. Switches off to a headlock. Going to step over and try to.
It's going to be getting close.
Still got that far arm. And then the Apollo kid gets his arm through there, and that's what you got to do. But he comes right back with a barbed wire. And if he gets this over, it's going to be even tighter than the other one was. But Apollo kid gets
out of bounds,
and they go out.
7-2. Mattingly from Trinity's up over Shepherd from Apollo.
Tell him off the whistle. So the Apollo kid sits through and tries to hook a head. Does it again, hooks the head. The Whitesville Trinity kid is high. And he's going to dump him. He hooks that leg. Trinity kid's he's still saying he's still in control. He's on top.
Going to run out of time.
Yep. And they're not going to give points. It's a good call. There's no loss of control.
7-2. Whitesville Trinity, Mason Mattingly head over Mason Shepherd as we head to the third period. A lot of action that time.
Yeah, it's good back and forth.
Again, this is your 30 seconds time between green choice. Paulo chooses down. Shepard does. Mattingly will be on top. Because he can get one if he escapes and a whole lot more if he can reverse.
He did a good job of sitting out and hooking that head last time. Well, he gives a far arm. He hooks that leg. The Apollo kid still underneath, got broken down and his arm's tied up. Whitesville Trinity kids got a far side half and the wrist control. The Apollo kid he gets up to his knees again. He's got a head outside single he's trying to finish on. Good two-point reversal.
7-4 now. 1 minute left to go in this third final period. Shepard from Apollo's on top. Mattingly's on bottom. Trying to get him turned.
So he's got that chicken wing again where he cranked on it pretty good. The Whitesville kid's got his hips turned out. Apollo got a little bit high and gave up a reversal, but he's got a real good tight chicken wing and the far wrist. So you, like I said, you go either way with it. You can stack it up or you can get out to the side and run it.
20 seconds left. He's got a
leg in.
He's going to give up. 9-4. 10 seconds left. That's going to be, looks like that's the way the period's going to end.
That's the match.
Yep. 9-4. Mattingly over Shepard. And we've got one more match between Trinity and Apollo. And it's going to be at 152. Christopher Howard. And it should be Dana Bishop. So at 152. Got a little hand fighting out there.
He goes right to the headlock. That's what he pinned the first round on. He's got a good tight headlock. He's sitting out. The more they rock back and forth, the tighter this gets. Oh, he better watch that. If he locks those hands without that arm in, he'll give up the point again.
He's
doing a good job of both guys are. They've got 20 seconds left. That's where he needs to be with both arms pulling up the head and the arm.
He's got it tight too.
Six seconds, and he
10.
didn't make it.
As Christopher Howard over from Whitesville Trinity over Dana Bishop from Apollo. Now we'll go through the rest. They're coming out here, and that's going to be the final score. That's all the points. As we go, the Apollo getting all the forfeits. You got to go through all the weight classes. Then we'll be ready for Henderson County versus Apollo. Again, this stream is brought to you by Air Hydro Power Hetty's Pizza, Henderson Ford, Owensboro Health, Henderson Healthplex, and Tri-State Construction and Concrete. Now we're ready for the heavyweight and then 106. Blaze Cart from Apollo. We got 106, 113, and then that will be it. Okay.
Weight class 113.
113, and that's it. We should be ready. I don't know if they're going to clean the mat.
So both teams have warmed up. Typically, there's a stretching and warm-up period in between rounds, but most of both of these teams haven't wrestled yet. So their initial warm-up before it started probably has got them there. They are going to sanitize the mat.
Yeah, they'll go through and, as you said, sanitize the mats. Usually in basketball games, when they have different teams playing, they clear the gym and sanitize the seats. Just the new normal in events. They're spraying disinfectant and cleaning off the mat.
These precautions, just like it's done with the flu, there's, I was reading an article in USA Wrestling, the cases of staph infection and skin, impetigo's and stuff that you get are just about non-existent this year, and a lot of it has to do with and maybe they've learned a lesson as far as the hygiene on the mats, and each other has made the sport a little bit safer as far as skin problems and infections.
What you said, usually this time we're talking about how bad the flu is,
Yeah.
and
I don't know anybody's ever that's had it this year.
I don't know if they had the flu and they just figured it was COVID, but like you said, usually you'll have cases and it'll hit areas and be really bad. People hospitalized, and they're saying it's virtually non-existent. And not meaning to be a bearer of bad tidings, but these face masks may come to be more of the new norm when the season's health issues come about.
Yeah, it's whatever it takes to get rid of this to where we can get back to normal. And,
yeah.
And then whatever we got to do to keep it from getting to what we've been dealing with for the last 10 months.
It's hard to believe. I just think of the day, it's hard to believe it's been that long. And they've got the mat clean, and Henderson County's out. We'll see what weight class they're going to start. Referee's taking a break. We did notice a while ago some fans were in the stands and they weren't wearing their mask, and they were asked to leave.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
It's not much of a thing to do to wear a mask.
That's the rule. So if you want to be out here and watch it and be around other people, then that's what you got to do.
We did. Let's mention the senior wrestlers for Henderson County: Brendan Hare, parents Galen and Brandy Hare; Rance Hawkins, parents Ron Hawkins and Angie Groves; Joshua Moore, parents John and Virginia Moore; Dustin Russellberg, parents Ryan and Deanna Russellberg; and Hudson Thomas, parents Greg and Becky Thomas. Those were this year's graduating seniors. And
Coach Borner was talking about what a valuable part of the team they've been, and they helped with the comeback of the program and the entire time he's been here.
And that's important to have a leadership like that can recruit, other kids, and be a mentor to younger kids and get them involved.
Yeah.
Very important.
So after the sanitizing of the mats, you got to give it a few minutes to dry, and that's what they're doing. That's what is going on right now. The wrestling coach's job is not only teaching the kids to wrestle, but it's mopping the mats.
And rolling up the mats and putting up the mats and moving the mats. And
I've heard a million times in the wrestling room from my brothers, "I'm not your mama," but they clean up their clothes left in the locker room. So they got to be a little bit of a jack of all trades.
Yeah. And coaches in all sports end up being that way.
Yeah.
You'll see football coaches out working on the field.
Yeah.
Basketball coach mopping the floor.
Yeah.
Baseball coach dragging the infield. So we got the referee back. We're getting, he's talking to Coach Pointer. And we'll be ready to go hopefully shortly. Hope you're enjoying this stream. Again, it's brought to you by Air Hydro Power, Hetty's Pizza, Henderson Ford, Owensboro Health and Henderson Healthplex, and Tri-State Construction and Concrete. Hope you're enjoying this. We've got a couple more of these scheduled. It's a good way to get people educated about wrestling, get them involved, and get it going where more people will want to be involved.
Well, and then the streaming with we can't fill these gyms now. We know that, and what the radio station's doing here with where you can watch it from home or watch it from work or or watch it tonight or tomorrow. That's a great thing, and anything you can do to help support these kids. They work hard, and this is their reward. They get to compete. They practice every day. They cut weight to get to a weight class, and all that work is paid off. And to have an empty gym or near empty gym, but it's good. I saw there was up to 15 people on the live stream looking at it. So that adds to the crowd. That's a virtual crowd, I guess is what they call it, and that helps support these kids.
You talked about discipline that the wrestlers had. How did that discipline affect you in leading up to what you're trying to accomplish now? Your little
my
escapade,
midlife crisis.
Yeah.
It's real similar. It's a one-on-one. It's me against the mountains. What David's talking about is I'm in the process of climbing all the major mountains in the world, and I've summited Everest 2 years ago. I've got one peak left that I got scheduled this May, and I'm climbing Denali. And I've been to every continent except for North America, and I've climbed just about every major mountain. And it is a lot like wrestling. It's me in that mountain. And it's me, my training, getting prepared for it, and then the decisions I make while I climb. And a lot of that is what these kids are doing out here tonight. It's what they do to get ready for the match, and how they make decisions during the match.
And every athlete has, that moment in their sport that can transfer, to their life, just like you did from the wrestling standpoint.
It transfers to business, your career. It's the same thing. It's the desire to do the best you can be, and to win. Whether it's with your family, with your career, with what you do, the example you set for the community. So that's what we're teaching these. That's the value of these high school athletic programs and the education that these kids are receiving while in high school.
Caleb Gibson of Apollo and Brendan Hare of Henderson County.
126, Brendan Hare, Henderson County.
Starting out with one of their seniors.
Caleb Gibson, yes, one of the seniors, and we're ready to go. Caution red.
He wasn't on the red stripe, so they got to have a foot on one of those two colors. So Hare, senior. He's starting in the center of the mat, circling. He's got that collar. He kind of forecast a headlock, dropped down a good job with a double. And he's got the double, he's got his legs spread. He's trying to convert it to near fall. The Apollo kid, he goes up to half, but he's between the legs. He's got to get out to the side to run that half.
20 seconds left in the first period.
He got the half on his knees. He turns him back inbounds. He was running out of bounds. Switches over to a reverse half. He's getting near fall points. He's got both shoulders. He's got a good tight reverse half. He needs to lift that far elbow. He's doing that now. And he runs out of
end of the period. Got near fall points. Got 3 near fall points, so he's up 5-0. So we head to the second period. Brendan Hare doing a great job getting near fall points, and if he'd had a little more time, may have been able to get a pin.
He just rocked into where he had that reverse half, and then he hooked that far elbow, and he was lifting it to where the Apollo wrestler would not have been able to bridge out of that.
Coach Pointer's over talking to the ref. As red choice. Red chose his top, so red choice, which is Apollo. He chooses top. Henderson County's down.
A good start.
Brendan Hare's trying to escape up to his feet. Apollo's trying to break him down. Caleb Gibson. And he gets away, so Brendan Hare gets a point. That makes 6-0.
Did a good job controlling the hands and standing out and spinning out. Ooh. It was kind of a wrist drag, just drug him down and got behind for another 2. That's 8. That's a major decision.
Returned him to the mat. Now he's going to turn him.
Yep. He got a good half. Got a tight waist, so
pin.
Tightened it up.
So Brendan Hare gets 16 points.
Well, a senior getting a win at home, a pin that,
on senior night.
Crowd. Yeah.
Now we got 132. We have now Hudson Thomas for Henderson County and David Gherkin for Apollo. And we're started.
This is another senior. The Apollo kid does a good job of the single. The Henderson County kid kind of pries him off of it. Ooh, good duck under from the Apollo wrestler.
Gets 2-point takedown.
So he's got that far near side chicken wing, and he's going across trying to bar that far side arm. There he goes. He got the arm bar now. Now he's got an arm bar, and he's running the chicken wing. So on the knees, he's got to get him flat. There he got him flat. Nope, and he loses it. Tries to run the arm bar.
10 seconds left.
The Henderson kid standing up, look for
Hudson Thomas trying to escape. Now he's going to. It's going to be it.
I don't know if he's going to get. He only got two.
Two near fall points puts him up 4-0 as they got the 30-second break. Hudson Thomas, David Gherkin. David Gherkin started on top, so Hudson will have the choice of whether he wants to start on bottom and get this 1-point escape or ride Gherkin and try to get a pin. He's got the choice.
And Apollo chooses down. So 4-0.
And
gets high and he gets caught. And they don't have a reversal yet. Now they do.
Now it's
right to his back.
And getting your fall point, 6-0.
He's got it pretty tight.
Hudson Thomas is another senior.
He's gonna slide that shoulder out and got up to his knees and whistled potentially dangerous.
Hudson Thomas is down.
That wasn't an illegal move like we saw earlier. That was it just slipped into a potentially dangerous, and the referee did a good job stopping it.
Well, that shoulder and arm was getting in a bad situation.
Yeah. Restart down, and Henderson on bottom.
Behind 9-0.
Apollo with that arm bar and far wrist, throws crossbody right in. This is a more advanced riding and pinning position. What he's looking for is to catch that far wrist and throw it over his head. That's a move called the guillotine. And you see he's got that arm hooked. He's throwing it over his head. Now he's going to reach back and hook Henderson's county person's head. And this is another one that the shoulder can get in a little bit of trouble if he goes the wrong direction. If he didn't quite reach back and catch the head, and he was close to that out of bounds mark.
35 seconds left. Out of bounds. They'll go back to the center. Apollo on top. David Gherkin versus Hudson Thomas. 9-0. Gherkin's ahead. Henderson's ahead in the match. 6-0.
Henderson's got quite a bit of fight. He's got that wrist wing. He's running the wing. He can go either way. He can either run it that way or he can stack it. Switches off to a far side bar and now crosses over to a half. He's got this pretty tight. 10 seconds left. He goes to
5 seconds left.
Henderson. There's a kid's fighting. He's not giving up that back. So at his own, he put his shoulder in a pretty bad spot not to give up any
Hudson
points.
Thomas shoulder was in pain, and that's why it was stopped. Only 2 seconds left. Then we'll head to the final period.
And I don't think they got any near fall points there, so you got 2 seconds. Going into the final period, it's 9-0.
All right, what does Hudson need to go all out, look for a pinning combination, or just try to get
it's kind of tricky because right now you've had 2 matches, and this is where the team dynamic comes into play. Henderson scored 6 points with the pin. Right now, if he just gives up a major decision, he'll only give away 4 points. So you go all out, you end up getting pinned, you're going to give up 6 points, or a tech decision, that's 5 points. So he looks like he's in pretty good shape. The Apollo wrestlers got very good technique. So I would try to make sure that he didn't get pinned and just kind of go after him, but not give up a bunch of points, bunch of team points.
Durkin's got him down. He's going down. He's got it 2 more. That's 11 now.
No back points. Thomas rolled through. So in the middle of the mat. The Apollo kid's got that far side half. He's got the near side arm bar. So he's got the arm bar pulled on his back now. So he's going to try to pull that across and go around his head.
Oh, now he's going to try to turn him.
He lost the arm.
Ooh. Shoulder's in bad shape. He's got him turned now.
He's over pretty far. He's got to slide back chest to chest.
Going to get near fall points. 1 minute left to go.
Henderson kids put up a fight.
Hudson Thomas trying to get it out.
He got a good bridge. His shoulders, he went flat. But he's running that one shoulder out of bounds, but the new rules is you can pin out of bounds. So used to the old rules, that shoulder go out of bounds, you couldn't get a fall from there. But the new rules is if he's out of bounds on one shoulder, they can still.
And those shoulders just have to touch at the same time, right?
1 second, yeah. So that ties the team score up 6-6. 2 pins. They started out, one from Henderson, one from Apollo. So 138, Henderson's going to get a forfeit. That's going to make the team scores 12-6.
All right, that's 138. Vincent Emery, 145. Mason Shepard versus Jackson Wallace for Henderson County. And it's Henderson's up 12-6. See what Jackson can do.
Jackson's a freshman with a 5-2 record.
Well, that's, what you want, those freshmen out there getting after it and developing.
Out in the middle, hand fighting, trying to get control of now he's got 2-on-1 with that wrist, and he goes to a collar. A lot of that, they're trying to expose a leg where they get a shot like that. It's a setup to a shot.
You got both hands, arms.
Yeah, one's got one and the other one's got the other. He switches to 2-on-1, then an elbow. He's trying to get to that near leg. Follow with a good double leg.
2 points. 2 points at the end of the period, just right before the end of the period. A 2-point scoring move.
And the Henderson kid had really had a high underhook, and he was going to try to reverse him there, and he ran out of time.
So 2-0 here heading into the second period, green choice.
Wallace chooses down.
Shepard will be on top, up 2-0.
And we start the second, steps over and steps right into a headlock. He's going to get a 2 and back points.
Now he's got a good headlock.
He's got that arm, he's got this tight. He's really got it tight. You see how he's got all of his weight off. He's got all of his weight on the Apollo kid. He goes hips down when he turns away. He shouldn't step over this, but he stepped across. Still got a tight headlock. The Apollo kid's still in a bad way. Plus, this is really fatiguing for him. So he steps across. He's got goes to a headlock on the far side. He's got to get all that weight off them knees. The Henderson kid's got to really put all of his weight, get off those knees and put all of his weight on that near shoulder. And
pin, all right.
So it came from behind that second period for a pin.
Yes. He got Mason Shepard in a bad situation and makes the score 18-6 Apollo. 152. Dana Bishop for Apollo and Colton Tompkins for Henderson County.
Ooh, good high crotch. He's going to switch over, try to switch over. He's going to run the corner and go to a half. There's 2. Good shot, good penetration, shot right under that arm. Tompkins is a junior with a 2-1 record. He's going to let him go and wrestle him off the feet. Did a real good job of that long shot. So let's see if we see that again. See the Apollo kid reaching high? He's looking to shoot under that just like he just did. There goes again to the left side, elevates the leg. There's another takedown.
2-point takedown.
There's only 15 seconds left, so he's a little bit high, needs to get back under the arms. 10 seconds left. We're going to give one up. He goes back for another shot.
We'll run out of time. Tompkins up 4-2.
Just some good
over
shots.
Bishop.
Two
Yes,
good
he's
takedowns.
very quick. Sometimes I know you've seen that they'll push their head down because the wrestler wants to get his head up, and then he'll raise his head up, and then they'll just make a shot.
It's movement one way to get a reaction and movement in the opposite direction, and that's what he's trying to get. That's what he's doing. He's either circling away from that leg, which makes him step into him from the far leg, and that's what he shot at. He did a good job. He didn't get caught either time of those, so he did a real good job timing those shots.
They're both going to go from a neutral position. Tompkins is doing a good job with some takedowns from
there. And he chose to wrestle. He got blocked that time. He didn't get the arms clear, and the Apollo kid was able to block that one. He tried to get a little bit too. Henderson tried for a headlock. And Apollo goes right into a crossbody ride.
Bishop tied it up, and there's going to be a potential dangerous.
When they're on, when they have the crossbody ride, they get to the feet like that, they stop it. He's got to block that crossbody ride. That Apollo kid knew what he was doing there. So Henderson back up. He's going to get one. 5-4, good match. You got to clear those arms off his shoulders. There he goes. He got under that arm, hooked the leg, and he gave up takedown. But
Apollo's up.
Apollo in the crossbody ride again. He's trying for the splits here, and he's getting it. Henderson's got to be careful he doesn't go back. He's got the arms posted out. He needs to kind of extend his legs. That's a dangerous spot for both wrestlers.
Referee stopped it, wasn't going anyplace.
They call that move the splits out of the crossbody ride, and you see him slow to get up.
Yeah.
I don't think he's been practicing with a cheerleading team where he's got the splits down. So here we go. Let's see if the Henderson kid had two great shots. He just needs to get his setup a little bit better. Good job with Apollo. Dropped down on the single. We're going to get a 2-point takedown.
He's up 8-6. Still in the second period. Two more.
All right, Tompkins up to his feet, hand control. Needs to get one here. He goes out of bounds.
8-6 score.
10 seconds.
I'm sorry, 10-7. Look at the wrong thing. That one's up. This one's, I'm looking across the way.
Yeah, that's a team score.
Yeah.
It's good that they have that team score up there.
Team score and, trying to look. Oh, he's up to his feet.
He's high.
Gonna run out of time.
Yeah.
10-7.
So I'm not
Tompkins
real sure
behind.
what the team score is. It's got 9-8 now.
No, that's what that score
mat
should be.
scores.
Should be 10-7.
Okay.
That's what I was looking at a while ago, thinking it was the team match score. Team score's up there and the match score too.
And the match score's got 9-8, and the referee's over talking to him. I think
This has got 10-7, so yeah. Somebody will see what it is. That one has 9-8, you said. This one has 10-7 Apollo up. Gonna get the member from each coaching staff over there.
a lot of scoring, so it's up. They've got a book on both teams, and usually the referee will go through the match, and it will be his call on it. But you'll have both team books that he'll go through.
And you talked earlier, it's kind of important for Henderson to build up some points here because they've got two forfeits coming up at 182 and 195.
Yeah.
That'll be 6 points each for Apollo.
Apollo kids riding legs real tough. Henderson did a real good job with those first two shots off of his feet. He's got to get back to setting up that shot and controlling the hands and getting better penetration. But he's getting in those ties, and he gave up 2 takedowns the second period. So see if he can get what worked for him the first period.
Now they got 10-7 over there.
They're going to choose to wrestle on the feet. Apollo chose on his feet that time. Oh, there's a good. He got good penetration. He's going to spin around. There's 2.
Now it's 10-9. Going to let him up.
Yeah.
No, they got 12. This one's wrong for that one. So
another good shot. Switches off to a double. Apollo gets sprawled out on him. Back to their feet. We got an over and under. No points scored. So now Henderson's up by 4 on one scoreboard and 3 on the other. Oh, good shot. He didn't clear that far wrist. Apollo's sprawling out. He's got that far ankle. All he's got to do is step over that near ankle, and he's got a takedown. Henderson fights out of it, switches over to a double.
Now if he can get rid of that wrist and get it behind him.
There's 2. Stepped over that back ankle, and that.
Now it's 14-8. Apollo's up.
And he locks up that crossbody ride. He's looking for that guillotine on that far side.
Tompkins needs to get out and got 30 seconds. He's behind by 6 points.
He stands up and he gets one to escape.
14-9. Now he's going to have to go after it.
Now this is where you need to really go after it, a headlock or something where you get a takedown and near fall. Feet to back is what they call it. He needs 5 here. 2-point takedown won't do it.
He doesn't have enough time now. No. He's running out.
That's the match. That's going to be a 3-point decision. Makes it 18.
18-9. Jonah Hinton from Apollo versus J.J. Pointer, coach's son from Henderson County.
He's grown a lot this year. I think he's a 126-pounder last year. He's a 160, the junior. Yeah, good takedown.
So he got 2 points quick. Hinton's trying to get an escape. Pointer picks him up
and return.
You got to be careful on that, Gary.
He did it safely. Oh, good tilt here. He's getting these are cheap. He won't pin him, but all he's trying to do is it's called a tilt. And I think he got 2 out of it. He didn't award him the points yet. There goes some Oh, he's got him reverse half.
Pin, all right.
Good job. 20 seconds left in the first period.
Did a good job of countering that. She said he had him in a tilt, and
then he switched over to a real good pinning combination on the reverse half. Knew how to finish good.
Cameron Baker for Apollo. Eli Justice for Henderson County. They're in the middle, ready to go.
Oh, good pick, knee pick. A two-point takedown
for Apollo, and he's
goes in a crab ride. This is another tilt. He's getting near fall points out. He's not going to pin him, but he broke that 45-degree plane where he gets near fall.
Get 3 more points. He's up 5-0.
Apollo's doing a good job of riding. Crossbody rides. Oh, here's the splits again.
Pin. Like he was in a little discomfort.
24-15.
Now we've got 182 Tavarius Walker. And that's a forfeit.
Get 2 forfeits. That's going to push the team score up on Apollo 27-24.
And then we'll head to the 220, which is for Henderson County, Rance Hawkins. For Apollo, it's Ethan Berry. And we've got 5 weight classes left.
This may be the kid that Coach was talking about earlier. Will make it to state. Did pretty good last year for Henderson. Hawkins. He's one of their seniors.
Ethan Berry for Apollo.
Oh, got the underhook. He's looking for under and over now. He's pushing into him. Apollo's kind of trying to slack out of it and backing. Oh, good back
there you
trip.
go.
Good back trip. And he got that forearm tight, too. So
Pin.
nice back
Rance
trip.
Hawkins, as you said, lived up to the billing.
That puts Henderson back on top, 30-27.
We have Connor Lander for Apollo and Connor Lander for Henderson and Blaze Cart for Apollo.
So it's another underhook, and they call Henderson for backing. It's you can back, you can't go straight back. In this, you got to circle. The Apollo kid gets the underhook and he starts pushing, and Henderson's got to circle to the center. Apollo gets his back and back trips. Still no points. He hadn't covered him. He did there.
2 points for Apollo.
Oh, good roll from Henderson. Right to his back. That's a reversal. He's getting near fall. Great roll. He's got 2.
So he's up 4-2 now.
20 seconds. Good job on Henderson County. That was a 4-point move right there. He's got 6 seconds to ride this period out. Time. Good job using the mat and the clock for Henderson County.
Yeah, fighting off the escape, and it's 4-2. Henderson County's up. You said Lander did a good job of countering that.
Yeah, this is 30-27. It's going to be determined by the little guys.
Yes.
The 106, 113, and 120 pounder are going to determine the winner of this dual meet tonight. So it's going to end up exciting coming down the stretch.
Now we're going to He going to choose Apollo. We're going to go from a neutral position.
Starting back on their feet. Apollo did get that takedown. Oh, he pulled a close. He's going to call that. Grabbed that close, just stretched it out, and they called it 1 point. Back to a collar tie. Apollo kid's putting a lot of pressure on the Henderson kid. He's been warned once, so he can't back. He's got to circle in, or they will call him for stalling.
.130 left to go in this second period. Henderson, Connor Lander up 5-2.
Lander's a one collar and a tie. The Apollo kid tries to foot sweep. Connor's doing a good job of keeping that collar tied. Now he's got him blocked. And he's got a double collar. Switched to the other side. Apollo kid shoved by. He's keeping that collar tied, so he's keeping the Apollo kid. He just can't back. He's got it. Yeah. So he called him for stalling there for a combination, just blocking and backing.
Oh. Had a cart kind of stumbling back there, and I thought he might be able to take him down. 5-3, 30 seconds left to go in this second period.
He's going to have to, Henderson's going to have to do something, or the referee will call another stall point. That collar tie with the elbow in the chest is just a blocking move. He's got under the elbows. He's got to do something offensive.
15 seconds.
So you got the wrist. He's got to do something with that wrist. Oh, Apollo's really working hard at it. Henderson's doing a good job with his defense. Got to get a good slide by with an underhook, and they go out of bounds.
Into the second period. 5-3, Connor Lander's up.
Good defense. He gave up one stalling point, but he didn't give up any other points after he got that. So they're going to start out. This will be Henderson's choice.
Yes.
I bet he chooses down. He scored 4 points from underneath. Let's see what he picks here.
He's ready, and Apollo comes.
Yep,
and you were right, Gary.
Down. He scored 4 right off the bat with that roll. Let's see if he'll do that that roll that he did. He trapped the tight waist, so he's going to start from the other side. He sits out. He's not going to give him that tight waist. He's going to let him go to his feet. Oh, good spinning. So hand control and spin. So
6-3 now. Connor Lander's up.
Yep, 1 point escape. Apollo's under those arms, lifting. Henderson has got to center. He can't. Oh, snap down and a takedown. The coaches are telling him to let go. Oh, that's an illegal. It came from a little bit too far back for that cross face. I'm not sure what they're calling here. That was a hard cross face. It's a 1 point penalty.
Yep.
A cross face and a firm cross face is one thing, but when you really rock back and hit him with that forearm right in the face like that, that's.
And he's, you know what? As this goes further, if he's not able to continue because of that,
Henderson wins. Yeah, that's. And in a case like that where it was pretty flagrant, where he threw that from a pretty good distance, and but I think Henderson County's got 2 minutes of injury time here to recover, and then he'll probably get up. 1:25 left in the match. He's going to be down by 2. And I'm not real sure. He's not moving around. Usually in these cases, unless he's cross-eyed and they're looking at him, you want him up and moving and breathing. We got a trainer out, both coaches. He's getting up, shaking his head. Looked at the coaches, and they said he's ready to go.
So Connor Landers is back up, ready to go. He'll be down.
He caught his breath. In a minute and a half, he's up by 2.
And
the Apollo kid's not going to wrestle him on the underneath like he did earlier.
He's got an escape.
So you got to watch it. He's been warned and penalized for stalling. So got 1 minute left to hold on here. Good close match. He's circling in. That's not backing. He was circling. They ran him out of bounds. 58 seconds left.
Connor Lander up 8-5 over Blaze Cart of Apollo. Team score 30-27 Henderson.
So Henderson's got to be more aggressive here. There's another point.
Another point.
That's not a bad call either.
Now a takedown will tie it up.
Well, the next stall warning is going to be a 2-point.
1 point.
He grabbed his clothes again.
Yeah, 9-6 now. So that stalling was offset by the grabbing the clothes again.
So the next stalling warning is 2 points. So he's got to stay in there. That penalty point gave him an advantage there, but the clock started a little bit late, but 20 seconds. Good close match. So he's circling. As long as you're moving laterally, they're not going to call that. You can't back.
10 seconds.
Yep, there's the 2. There's the 2.
9-8. And that's going to be it. So Connor Lander wins by decision. That's 3 points. That'll make it 33-27. And we get to the little ones here. Got Jacob Ramsey from Apollo and White Payne from Henderson County. 33-27. Henderson's up. We got 18 possible points left, Gary.
So this is in the 8th grade. Henderson has got a senior at this weight class, and not sure if they've moved him up or what. So Henderson backed right out, and they called him right off the bat for
warned him.
Apollo shoots the single leg.
That's a takedown.
Going to score 2. Looks like a lot of weight difference between Henderson
size-wise too, yes.
So he goes right to that crossbody ride. He's got the guillotine, reaching back. He's got the head. So now what he's going to do is pull that head in and roll him to his back. This is a really tight pinning combination. He's got to break.
That's it, pin. So it's tied up.
33. This is what you like to see.
And we will have for Apollo, Allie Newton, and for Henderson County, and Andrew Gelbreth. And it's tied up. 2 matches left to go. Good shot and a takedown.
Yep. Quick 2. Goes to half. Gets her. Oh, and she rolls through. Is going to get maybe 1 out of this. No, they still don't have it. They still have Henderson in control. The Apollo wrestlers, she's doing a good job with him, countering. Oh, he settles it down. He's getting back points now.
15 seconds left.
He's got both his hands locked under his shoulder. I don't think he can get that shoulder. Oh, there he moved it about. Couldn't get that shoulder down. His hands are under it.
End of the period.
Going to end up with a 3 there.
3-point near fall. Henderson, Andrew Galbraith, is up 5-0.
So it's going to be an interesting dynamic. If whatever he wins by, Apollo can tie it by winning by the same. So if he wins by decision, Apollo wins by decision, it'd be a tie team score. If he pins, they pin. If he wins by decision, they pin. So it can go either way. Puts a lot of pressure on Dylan Bishop, the next wrestler up.
Dylan Bishop versus Alex Bowles is the last.
Yeah, they've got 2
match
in that weight class, 2 sophomores, or a senior and a sophomore.
Please make sure that you guys are all wearing masks to the distance riders.
Green Henderson chooses top. Apollo deferred. 33-33. She's tried to stand up and step out. On the corner of the mat.
And they run out of space on the mat.
Back to the center. 5-0. Henderson up in this match. Galbraith up.
So he's going to cross. It's not cross face, cross body. Now he's trying to break her down. She's done a good job of keeping her base. He's got a cross face. Got the wrist. She's keeping those hips up. That it makes it hard to go into any type. He's trying to break her hips down. She's keeping a good tight ball there. Now she's knee sliding, trying to stand up. She comes to standing.
She can get loose and get around.
Oh, and she's got a cradle. She's got a cradle almost locked up. She's got a cradle locked up, and she's got it locked up right and tight. Henderson wrestler's getting his arm through, so it's hard to keep his shoulder down when you got that arm through. You see the referee's not looking down because he can see his shoulders up. He needs to be attacking that grip. Her grip's broke, but she reaches up even tighter. Now she's got it tighter and his arm's down. Now he's looking for the shoulder and a pin.
As she pins for Apollo, puts them up by 6 points. 39-33, and we head to the 120 weight class. Alex Bowles for Apollo, Dylan Bishop for Henderson County, and
So the
Henderson County needs a pin.
best Henderson can do right now is to tie it with a pin. He's got to pin. If he wins by decision or major decision or tech fall, that's still not going to be enough team points. Good double leg. Knocked the legs off, but a little bit down. It didn't get his head up. And, locking hands. So he's going to give up a takedown, but he's going to get a 1-point penalty for locking hands.
2-1 now. It's at a penalty point. He's telling me he locked hands.
Henderson wrestler is going to start down. Apollo does a good job trapping those ankles on the top and moving into a crossbody ride. Goes to a half. He gets that half again. He's running the half. He got the far side barred. Henderson kid keeps coming to his knees. He's not gotten flat.
Got 8 seconds left.
Knee. Oh, and The Henderson kid tried a inside step across, but he went across. That's what you counter a half on their knees with, but he went over the wrong way. Had a good idea there. Didn't give up much, just a 1-point match.
2-1, but Henderson needs more than a decision here.
Yeah, they need a pin just to tie the duel, the team duel. Good match, good close match. It's been back and forth all night.
Yes, it's Henderson up, then Apollo comes back, and Henderson goes back.
Second period, coach is telling him to break him down, get him flat. Oop, he jumped with that arm. So they restart this one. They got a caution. Here we go again, second start. They're going to caution red this time.
Just to even things out.
Yeah. You get 2 cautions before you get points on starting positions. Okay, Apollo sits out quickly. Ooh, Henderson gets high. Oh, he's going to circle to a headlock. Oh, he had him on his, those are go for broke type of moves. He had him on his hip. Just didn't quite get him there, but he got some excitement there.
4-1, Apollo's up. Going out of bounds. Second period, 1:32 left.
Okay. Apollo's reaches across for a cradle, but he gets real high. The Henderson kid's got a single leg. Bishop is going to end up with a reversal here.
4-3.
Puts a half in on the knees. Goes to an arm bar. Double arm bar. He's got an arm bar on both sides. Got an arm bar and a half. Apollo kid sits out. Ooh, he sits out and hooks his head in the leg. This is kind of a dangerous spot for Henderson to be in. He gives up some near fall points, rolls through it, but he's still got that head hook. He's just reach up and pop that head off. There he goes, the reversal. So he's still working that cradle. Gets a 1 count, 2 count. There's no points yet. He's got both benches on their feet. This is what you like to see. Both Henderson and Apollo, all their kids are up. The coaches are pushing them back off the mat. We got some excitement going that round. It's
9-5. Apollo up. Henderson needs, behind by 6, Henderson needs a pin this last period to tie up the team score.
So the Henderson coach is trying to talk about, I'm not real sure who had choice here, if this is going to be Henderson's choice. I don't know if I would, he got real close on that headlock, if I would try for a 5-point move on her feet. He got a cradle hooked up, so he had a couple pinning combinations. But he wasn't able to score from them.
Red choice.
So it's he's going to choose down. So Bishop is going to start on top. Third period. The Apollo kid sets out real quickly and is going to get away. Comes charging in, and Henderson drops his head and shoots a double leg. And he's going to get a takedown. Great job with that double.
10-7.
He caught Apollo coming in, rushing him straight ahead, and he just dropped his level. Good job with the double.
Out of bounds. Back to the center.
The Henderson coaches are telling him to try to flatten him out, get him broke down. This kid was able to stand up both times real quick. He's got to watch this where he doesn't lock his hands. Referee was looking for that. Gets a long cradle hooked up again. He's got the cradle. It's not got the arm in it, so this is hard to score off of. He's got to have that arm in that cradle. He's reaching across for the cradle again. Gets it locked up, but with that arm on the outside, it's hard to turn.
1 minute last period.
Foul kid reaches back and grabs the head. That's how he scored 5 points earlier. Henderson rolls through with it. Oh, and he had the head a little long. The coach was yelling for a step over and a half. Good match. Arm bar. Henderson is working a pinning combination. He's got the half on the far side with the arm bar on the other side.
30 seconds.
He calls Henderson for stalling. I think Henderson's coach is going to question that. He had an arm bar to running a half, and they called him for stalling. So I don't know if I agree with that one, but
yeah.
28 seconds left.
10-7. Follow up.
I think what he called, and it may be right, he stayed over his legs. He's got to, if he's got that half on, he's got to get off the legs. He's got to get out to the side. So that may have been what he called. So the referee may have been right. Here's that chicken wing. He's running that, he's got to get that chicken wing tighter, though.
15 seconds. 12-7. Apollo up. 10 seconds left to go. And that's how this one's going to end. Apollo, Alex Bowl beat Dylan Bishop from Henderson County. Dylan Bishop looks like he may be home.
Yeah, he kind of went down real quick. He's holding his wrist or his hand.
And they're out there looking at him. Of course, he put everything he had into it.
It was it came down to the last match, and he's looking at his wrist and his hand. But it came down to the last match to determine who's going to win this. And great last match. Bishop fought hard, came up a little bit short.
Ended up 42-33. Apollo won. Hard-fought match by Henderson County.
Good dual meet. I like it when they're back and forth like that.
Well, that's what you want to get in there and have the matches mean something, fight for it, and let the kids learn from that.
Yeah. Got the teams and the crowd kind of fired up a little bit, so that's part of it.
And Coach Pollner said they wrestle Apollo again this weekend.
Yeah, he said he's going to make some adjustments and go back at it again next weekend.
Well, Gary, thank you for helping out on this. As always, you did an excellent job, and we appreciate that. We're like I said, we got a couple of more scheduled. We'll have to let you know on that, and hopefully you can be there to help us out.
I'm glad to be here with you. It was a great night, exciting match, and it's never a bad night to watch wrestling.
This is Dave Curtis for Gary Urban from Henderson County Colonel Gymnasium. Good night.